Somewhere near you, there is a company that would genuinely like to help a charity like yours. It has a small budget set aside for exactly this, a team that wants to feel proud of where they work, and customers who would think a little better of the business for standing behind a good cause. And yet, most small charities never win a single corporate partner. Not because the company said no, but because nobody ever made it easy for them to say yes. This video is about changing that. It is about winning corporate partnerships and sponsorships, treating them not as a lucky windfall you sit and wait for, but as something you can go out and build, even with almost no budget and no fundraising department. One honest note before we start. This channel is educational only and nothing here is legal, tax, or fundraising compliance advice. I cannot promise you a single sponsor or a single dollar, because no honest person can. And because partnerships mean holding relationships and the personal details of the people inside those companies, treat data protection as part of the work from the very beginning. Follow the privacy rules that apply where you operate, such as the PDPA in Singapore, and only keep and use the information people have actually agreed to share. What a partnership really is. The first thing to fix is the picture in your head. Many small charities imagine a corporate partnership as a kind of polite begging, standing hat in hand and hoping a large company feels generous enough to hand over some money. If that is how you see it, the ask will feel awkward to you and sound awkward to them, and it rarely works. A real partnership is not a one-way donation. It is an exchange in which both sides get something they genuinely want. You get funding, or goods, or the time and energy of a company's staff. The company gets things it also values and often struggles to buy. A way to show its customers and its own employees that it stands for something. A genuine story to tell. A visible link to a cause the local community cares about. When you understand that a good partnership gives the company real value in return, everything changes. You stop apologizing for asking, you start offering an opportunity, and the conversation shifts from you needing them to the two of you building something that works for both sides. Know what you can offer. So before you approach anyone, get clear on what you actually bring to the table, because it is far more than you think. You may feel like the smaller party with nothing to give a business, but you are sitting on assets a company cannot easily create for itself. You have an audience, the supporters, volunteers, and followers who trust you and pay attention to what you say. You have a trusted name in your community, and trust is exactly what most companies are trying to earn. You have real stories, the concrete human moments that show a cause in action, which are worth more than any advertisement. You can offer visibility, your logo beside theirs, a mention at your event, a warm thank you to your audience. You can offer their staff meaningful work, a volunteering day that leaves employees prouder of their employer than any office party could. And you can offer the simple, powerful thing of letting a company be part of something good and true. Write these down. Make an honest list of what you can put on the table, because this list is the raw material of every partnership you will ever build. You are not asking for charity, you are proposing a fair trade. Partnerships come in several shapes, and it helps to know the menu, because a company that cannot give you one kind of support can often give you another. The most familiar is sponsorship, where a business funds an event, a program, or a piece of your work, usually in return for recognitions. Then there is cause marketing, where a company ties its product to your cause, perhaps donating a small amount from every sale, which sends you support while helping them sell. There are gifts in kind, where instead of money a business gives you goods or services you would otherwise have to buy, the printing, the venue, the legal help, the software. There is employee engagement, where the company staff volunteer their time, or the business matches the donations its employees make. And there are deeper, multi-year partnerships, where a company adopts your cause as its charity of the year and supports you in several of these ways at once. You do not need to chase the biggest, deepest version first. Often the wisest path is to start small, with a single sponsored event or an in-kind gift. Prove that you are a reliable, easy partner, and let the relationship grow from there. Find the right companies. Now, who do you approach? Resist the urge to fire off the same letter to 100 famous corporations, because a scattergun rarely lands, and big national brands are already buried in requests. The better approach is a short, thoughtful list of companies that have a real reason to care about you. Start with warm connections which are worth 10 cold ones. Look at your own board, your volunteers, and your existing supporters, and ask quietly whether anyone works at or knows someone at a company that might help. An introduction from a person the company already trusts opens a door that a cold email never will. Then favor local. A business rooted in your town has a genuine stake in the community you serve, and helping a local charity is helping its own neighborhood, its own customers, its own staff. Finally, look for alignment, a natural fit between what the company does and what your cause is about. A hardware shop and a housing charity, a bookshop and a literacy project tell a story that makes obvious sense to everyone. A handful of well-chosen companies with a real reason to say yes will always beat a mountain of hopeful letters to strangers. Make the ask theirs. When you finally reach out, remember the reframe and make the ask about them, not about you. The instinct of every charity is to lead with need, to open with how underfunded you are and how much you are struggling. But a company is not really deciding whether you are needy. It is quietly asking what partnering with you would do for the business. So lead with them. Show that you understand what they care about, whether that is reaching a certain community, lifting the morale of their staff, or being seen as a responsible local business. Then connect your cause to that goal, and be specific about what they would get in return. The recognition, the story, the chance for their team to take part. Keep your own need in the message, of course, because you are asking for real support and you should be honest about it, but let it sit inside a bigger picture of what you are offering, rather than stand alone as a plea. A charity that says, here is something valuable we can build together is far easier to say yes to than one that only says, please, we need help. A one-page proposal, whatever the company, make it easy for them to say yes, and nothing does that like a short, clear proposal. Busy people do not read long documents, so keep it to a single page. Open with one honest line about who you are and the good you do. Describe the specific opportunity you are offering, the event to sponsor, the program to fund, the volunteering day to join, rather than a vague request for support in general. Spell out plainly what the company gets in return so they can see the value without having to guess. State clearly what it would cost them, whether that is money, goods, or time, because hiding the number only creates awkwardness later. And finish with one simple next step, a short call or a meeting, so they know exactly what to do if they are interested. A clean, confident single page with a real opportunity and a clear ask respects their time and quietly marks you as an organized partner worth taking seriously. Deliver, then report back. Winning the partnership is only the beginning, because how you behave after they say yes decides whether they ever partner with you again. This is stewardship, the ongoing care of a partner, and it is where small charities most often stumble. So first, deliver exactly what you promised. If you said their logo would appear, make sure it appears. If you promised a volunteering day, make it well run and genuinely enjoyable. Nothing protects a partnership like simply being reliable. Then recognize them, thank them publicly and privately in the way you agreed so their support is seen. Then, and this is the step charities most often forget, report back. Tell the company in concrete human terms what their support made possible. Because of this company's partnership, this many families were helped this year, and here is what that looked like on the ground. A short, warm report with a real story and a photo shared with permission tells the business that its money and time were not wasted and that it chose well. Do this, and when you come back next year, you are not a stranger asking again. You are a trusted partner returning with proof that the last partnership worked. Turn one gift into lasting. That brings us to the real prize, which is not a single sponsorship but a lasting relationship. Winning a brand new corporate partner takes a great deal of effort, in the same way that finding a brand new donor does. So once you have one, your goal is to keep them. Stay in gentle touch between asks, not only when you want something. Share the occasional update. Invite them to see the work. Remember the people inside the company by name and treat them as the partners they are. When the time comes to renew, make it easy and show them how the partnership could grow, perhaps from a single sponsored event this year to a deeper role next year. A company that has partnered with you once, had a good experience and been thanked and kept informed, is far more likely to say yes again and to say yes to more. One genuine, well-tended partnership, renewed year after year, is worth more than a dozen one-off gifts you had to chase from cold each time. Quick recap, let us bring it together. See a partnership for what it really is, an exchange of value, not a one-way plea, so you can offer an opportunity instead of apologizing for a need. Know what you bring to the table your audience, your trusted name, your stories, and your people. Learn the shapes support can take, from sponsorship and cause marketing to gifts in kind and employee volunteering, and be happy to start small. Build a short list of the right companies, warm connections first, then local businesses and natural fits. Make your ask about their goals, back it with a clean one-page proposal, and then deliver everything you promised. Steward the partner well, report back on the impact with a real story, and turn that first yes into a relationship you renew for years. Winning corporate partnerships is not about luck, and it is certainly not about begging. It is about seeing clearly that the company and the charity can help each other, and then making it easy and rewarding for a business to do good alongside you. You cannot promise yourself a particular result, and you should never pretend the money is guaranteed. But if you offer real value, choose your partners with care, and keep the ones you win, the support will start to come, and it will come back year after year. If this way of thinking is useful to you, subscribe for more practical charity marketing you can actually use, and take a look at the companion written guide linked below where I lay these steps out in more detail. I will keep turning them into calm, doable steps one video at a time.